Welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob here. We may potentially be joined by Sexy Chris. Oh, never mind. He literally just texted me. He's not going to make it. So he's been awake since 10 o'clock last night. So I'm assuming he probably worked a double. So yeah, he one of these next upcoming episodes we'll try and get him on. So yeah, I was gonna go into a whole thing like, oh yeah, maybe if he joins, he'll join late, and then we'll get going. But he's not coming. So as soon as I say that, we're out of the gates here. So I want to start with something that everyone loves. I know you in particular love it.
Right.
It's the telltale sign of how you know a conversation is either over or absolutely fucking useless. And that is the weather.
Oh, yeah.
So in particular, North Attleboro, Massachusetts, and Mansfield, Massachusetts, the town I currently live in and the town I previously lived in, both got hit by tornadoes. Yes, that is correct.
You know this is because you taunted the weather that day, right? Because for whatever reason, where the one place where you live in a state that isn't very big but ends up being quite big got substantial. The rest of everyone got substantial rain. You sat here and go, nothing even came. Nothing even came. Completely ignoring that anybody lives outside of your area.
Yep.
So you taunted the weather on a day where I got the weather. So you went on this big long rant. I'm just sitting here like, I don't know, it rained here. So now this is what you get. Fucking the locusts are coming next week.
Well, you know what the best part about that is the tornado hit North Attleboro and Mansfield. Again, the town I currently live in, town I previously lived in. While it was all happening, I was in Medford, which also happens to be the town we grew up in. So I missed all of it because I was in Medford for work.
I survived. This is the Friday hurricane.
Yeah, the
Friday tornado.
Yeah.
No, I lived through that one in Easton.
Yeah. So I wasn't even here for it. So once again, weather wasn't even that bad where I was. But yeah, so here we are, right? So we got a tornado actually touched down. There was another one that touched down in Lincoln, Rhode Island. I saw a video of it, a car on the highway. Is
Twin River okay?
I think so, yeah.
Perfect.
There was a car on the highway that was on 295 that just so happened to have cameras on it that was rolling, and you can see the tornado came down and like picked the car up, like, you know, I'm talking maybe 6 inches off the ground, but you can tell in the camera that the car got lifted off the ground and like jumped and then was going. So, yeah, 2, potentially 3 tornadoes, like within, 15 miles of where I live. And so everyone is flipping out, right? Because people are like, oh my God, when's the last time we ever had a tornado? And it's like, I don't know. I truthfully don't know the answer to that.
A week and a half ago, there was one in Easton.
When did it touch down though?
Okay, now we're arguing semantics. Then I don't know.
Because I mean, does it count as a tornado if it doesn't touch the ground?
I don't know. If a tree goes through someone's house, is it a tornado or not?
Well, I mean, that's a good point.
If they say tornado warning and then a tree goes through your house, is it a tornado? I would argue yes.
Is that what happened in Easton?
Yeah, a tree went through someone's house.
Like it just fell over, or it literally got picked up and thrown through someone's house?
Again, semantics. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different. If there's strong winds, a tree can fall over and go into someone's house versus like being uprooted out of the ground and like thrown into the house.
8 trees were down in one of my clients' yard.
That's a lot.
So there was a tornado. This is the previous one. This isn't from Friday.
Yeah.
Although he was at the gym and I was like, good thing you got those trees out of there. He goes, dude, I have like PTSD. He goes, I can't even fucking think about this right now. He goes, 8 trees went down. So the previous tornado, which they said touched down in Easton Mansfield. I don't know. I just know like the neighborhood that's got like a fuckload of trees around it. So like if you were coming from McGuire's and before you got to Target, the right on Pequannock,
Right.
like if you went into that like area, they got fucking shelled.
Yeah.
And then a little bit by Easton Country Club in Pine Oaks.
Yeah, I had a tea time Friday night at Chamawa and they canceled my tea time. I got like a I got an email that was like your tea time has been successfully canceled. And I was like, "What?" So I called the course and they were like, "Yeah, we got a couple trees down on the course. So we canceled all the afternoon tea times." And they were like, "But don't worry, we'll be open tomorrow."
They don't care.
Yeah.
I played TPC Boston on Friday. We were sitting in the gym, like watching the hurricane going, are we going to get to play? Because if it's any other core, or I guess not, if it's a not a comparable course, the answer is no, we're not fucking playing.
Right. Right.
Or we're sitting there like it's supposed to clear up later. If any place can handle it, it's TPC Boston.
Yeah.
And we played and it fucking dumped on us at one point. But other than that, I mean, my shoes are still wet, but it's cool.
Wow, so this is weird. Um, Massachusetts averages 2.5 tornadoes per year. So I guess it's really not all that
So I guess if it is windy
uncommon.
and it knocks a tree through your house, it counts.
Yeah, I mean, in 2011, there was a strong tornado that killed 3 people in Western Massachusetts, striking in downtown Springfield. Only
Oh,
two,
that's like a different country though.
well, yeah. Only 2 tornadoes in the history of New England have killed more than 10 people. I know about the Worcester tornado. I mean, obviously, I think most people around here do. 1953 Worcester tornado. You're shaking it. You didn't know about the Worcester tornado?
How the fuck would I know? Okay. How the hell would I know about a Worcester tornado?
I mean, we
If it,
learned about it in school.
I didn't, and I'm 33 years old. I've been to Worcester twice in my life. Wait, hold on. Nope, three. I went to WPI once. I went to the
Yep.
DCU Center once, and then you and I played golf at Green Hill once. Those are the three times I've been to Worcester.
Yeah.
I average going to Worcester once every 11 years. How the fuck would I know about any Worcester history?
Yeah. Wow. So, okay. So, yeah, I have data from the tornado archive in Massachusetts up to 2021. Um, there were 6 tornadoes in Massachusetts in 2021. And it looks like there's been quite a few in southeastern Massachusetts and the Cape, believe it or not. There's also been one in Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. That's the bigger one. Nantucket's the smaller one. Martha's Vineyard got an EF2 tornado, and I don't know when. It doesn't tell me the year, but yeah, okay. So this isn't that uncommon in Massachusetts. If we had 6 tornadoes in 2021, there were 3 in 2020, 3 in 2019, 7 in 2018. Obviously the one I previously mentioned, right, in 2011, there were 5 that year. So okay, so this brings me to my next point. Obviously the tornadoes, right? They touched down. There were 3 of them. Well, I guess one technically was in Rhode Island. So there were 2 of them that touched down. Not far from obviously where I live and where you work. And then the other thing that's been all over the news recently is this stupid fucking Hurricane Hillary that's in the Pacific that's going to hit San Diego, in Southern California. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's the first hurricane that's going to make landfall in California since like 1957 or whatever it was." So this has prompted people around this area, right? That I've seen on Twitter and just, whatever random social medias that are out there, to be like, "Oh, this is it. this is it. Global warming's here. Wow, look at this. Now we have to deal with tornadoes, and now California has hurricanes. Okay, so really quick, I think my point here, what all this is coming from, and now I'm glad that I found the tornado data for Massachusetts, because I think what's happening here is recency bias, right? Like, so don't get me wrong, I'm not a climate change denier, right? Like, I'm not like, oh no, absolutely, the climate is exactly the same as it was 150 years ago. Obviously, it's changing, right? But it's always been changing, right? Like, it goes through ebbs and flows. Like, the climate has changed since literally the planet was created. Like, we've gone through multiple different ice ages. We've gone through like all kinds of different crazy things. So for people to be like, oh, well, the climate's changing. Well, yeah, I think it would be more odd and concerning if the climate didn't change, right? like if, I don't know how, Earth is what, 4.5 billion years old, roughly. Like, it would be more concerning if over 4.5 billion years it didn't change, right? Like, because we have the history of through rocks and shit, geology, right? Geology, one of those ones, the study of rocks. People know, right? Smart people that look at rocks, they just stare at rocks all day and
How
go,
smart can they really
yeah,
be?
exactly. Oh, the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. How do you know? This rock tells
Also,
me.
who is funding these people?
Yeah, who the fuck knows? But so that's the thing, right? We know that the climate is constantly changing. Have humans have had some sort of effect on it in the more recent, like, 100 years? Yeah, probably. But like, does that mean it wouldn't have changed at all? No, it would have continued to change,
Well,
right? Because there's ebbs and flows.
even if you just use the most extreme example in one of the ice ages, it's like if we got an ice age tomorrow, would we blame humans? Like, I don't think you
Right,
can, because in history, ice ages have happened.
right.
Um,
As have there been periods of heat too, right? Like, the Sahara Desert used to be a rainforest, right? Like, there were no cars and planes and cargo ships, at least to my knowledge, you know, 15,000 years ago,
are you sure?
when the Sahara Desert was a rainforest. But things have happened and the climate has changed since then, and now it's a really big fucking desert, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's a little short-sighted. Now, I mean, again, I know it pushes political agendas, so that's what drives all this shit. So, like, let's just put that out there and not really like beat around the bush. But it is a little short-sighted to think that, like, just by having cars, like, you can change the planet's climate cycles.
Yeah.
It almost is like insulting to the planet, where it's like,
Yeah, yeah, it is. Like, if you look at it like
motherfucker,
that,
like if
like, you
like
think you're
imagine
that
like
important.
if Earth could speak, like, motherfucker, there used to be dinosaurs on this planet,
Yeah.
and they
I've been
are.
doing this shit for 4.5
Yeah,
billion years. You think
yeah,
your fucking metal boxes on rubber wheels are gonna really affect me? Fuck off.
yeah. It's like, bro, Earth used to be one fucking piece, and that shit is split the fuck up. You think I can't handle adversity?
Yeah, I used to have one giant fucking continent, all right? Now I got 7.
Yeah. All you do is spread out my fucking work.
So yeah, like,
If you keep mouthing off, I'll fucking
yeah,
bring you another ice
yeah.
age.
So I think it's recency bias, right? That everyone is like, oh my God, climate change. Because, as I just said, from the fucking National Weather History Archive, whatever, tornado archive, the state of Massachusetts averages 2.5 tornadoes a year. And in 2021, we had 6 tornadoes. But like, people don't talk about it, right? Because it's not like, I don't know, they probably touched down in the fucking woods, right? Like, it's it's like throwing a dart on a dartboard, right? Like if we get, 3 tornadoes a year, and they mostly happen in areas that are unpopulated, no one talks about it.
Well, so
But
I was gonna
because
say that's
this
another thing.
time the dart landed in Mansfield and North Attleboro that are relatively populated. I wouldn't call them densely populated, but they're relatively populated areas. Now it's all over the news. Oh my God, tornadoes. It's like, yeah, we get 3 a year. Like, well, we never get tornadoes in Massachusetts. Oh, you're wrong.
Pittsfield could get a tornado every year and no one would know.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Except the residents of Pittsfield.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because anything that happens on the East Coast, on the eastern part of the state, is going to be covered because it's a short drive from Boston.
Right.
Ain't nobody going to fucking North Adams if a fucking tornado hits.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
No one.
And no one gives a shit about Springfield and Holyoke, so probably most people would be thrilled to see.
Yes, like Springfield, Holyoke, Chicopee. If a fucking tornado hits them, no one cares.
Yeah.
If a tornado hits anywhere west of that, no one knows what it is.
Right.
Now, I went out that way and I played golf with a couple people, and me trying to describe Sharon, Massachusetts to them was like them explaining, I don't know, what's a fucking random city out there?
Lee.
Sure, Lee. General Lee, great guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it would be like them trying to explain Lee to me.
Yeah.
And like all I would do is make a farce out of it.
Yeah, or like New Marlboro. The only reason I know where New Marlboro is because that's the township that Derek is from. His village is what was it, Southfield? Yeah. Southfield is a village within the township of New Marlboro. Which I found out when I did the wedding. When I officiated his wedding, it was at his parents' house in Southfield, and you have to like fill out the application, and Southfield was not an option. And I was like, hey man, where does your parents live?
Where the fuck
because
do you live?
I don't have Southfield as an option. And he was just like super nonchalant. He's, oh yeah, it's New Marlboro. And I was like, oh, okay. And then New Marlboro was the option. So then I like looked it up. I went on Wikipedia, and that's how I learned that Southfield is a village within the township of New Marlboro. And I was like, wow, that is out there. It's quite literally out there. I think I've told the story before, but like on the way, there's like a dirt road, like on the way to his parents' house, and there's a post in the ground. And on the post, 3 sides of the post, one says Massachusetts, one says Connecticut, and one says New York. So like that's like where the 3 states meet. They meet right on that post.
Yep, there's Southfield.
Yeah.
And you know what? Southfield isn't even as west as it gets.
Yeah.
There's Sheffield.
Yep. Then
there's nothing. You got to go north after that.
Yeah.
That's all forest. Egremont.
Yeah, Egremont. That was
that looks like
one of the high schools they used to play.
That looks like the last town in Southwest.
Yeah.
Unless Mount Washington is a town.
Mount Everett was I think the high school that they went to, and Egremont was their rival. Something like that.
So I know Pittsfield is generally the last, but Pittsfield is more north.
Yes. Yeah. And then North Adams and Williamstown are like north, on the Vermont.
They're northwest
border, yeah. Because Williamstown is basically Williams College, Taconic, and that's it.
It's a lot of green. A lot of green on this map.
Yeah, not a lot of brown and gray. So yeah, that's kind of that was my point, is that people flipping out over climate change. Um, yes, the climate is changing. Yes, humans probably have some sort of effect on it, but the fact that like we had tornadoes in North Attleboro and Mansfield, and California is getting a hurricane, it doesn't really move the needle for me, right? Like I don't know. Because the other thing too is, and this is what plays into recency bias here, is because everyone's like, oh my God, California had a hurricane in 1953 or 58, whenever the fuck it was. And it's like, okay, well, when's the last time before that California had a hurricane? Right? Like, how frequently are we talking? If California averages a hurricane once every 75 years, then, and we get another hurricane in like next year in California, all right, that's probably odd. But like, let's give it one more year. Do we get 3 years in a row of hurricanes? Because then there's probably something wrong, right? But like, if there's no hurricane that hits California again until like 2072, like, why was everyone making a big deal of the California hurricane in 2023, right? Like, it's one of those things, like you put the cart in front of the horse. It's like, oh my God, there's hurricanes. We never get hurricanes in California. Okay, well, when's the next one? Like, like I said, if California gets 3 hurricanes in the next 5 years, then we potentially have an issue. But if we don't get another one for another 60 years, then fuck off, because that's just normal.
So you also know how data works, and I know we're not supposed to do this. If California got hurricanes each year for the next 5 years, and then didn't get like another string of hurricanes for 200 years, would these 5 hurricanes matter?
That's a fair point. I mean, they would certainly matter to the people that like have to deal with it.
Yes,
but,
no, that shit sucks.
Yeah, but like in the climate change
that's what I'm saying, is if there hasn't been hurricanes in hundreds of years, they get 5 in a row, and then there isn't hurricanes for 100 years. That's not a lot of hurricanes.
Right.
By the way, we keep talking about fucking hurricanes, and I keep thinking of the fucking wrestler. Which is the worst fucking Titantron ever.
Yeah.
I forget what his name was. His real name.
I remember that.
The Hurricane. Was it Shane Helms?
I don't know. The Hurricane. Gregory Helms.
Gregory Helms.
Oh,
Gregory
wow.
Shane Helms.
Gregory Shane Helms. Wow. Look at you. Look at that fucking. He was the Hurricane.
Worst Titantron ever. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was literally just the fucking Hurricane logo.
No, it was him flying, but like you can tell that he is suspended in the air. Yeah. And the background is moving.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Hurricane Helms. It was for a little while. Yeah. Well, that's sarcasm speaks on the weather. Fuck off with your bullshit fucking political agendas.
Why the hell did he team up with Kane? Like, he was tag team partners with Kane at one point. It's like the most random thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some like really random like WWF storylines that were out there, which, so I will say that now I am very happy that old WWF clips have made their way into my Instagram algorithm, because now I'll get like random like throwback videos, and they're pretty amazing. It kind of makes me want to like go back and watch some of the matches. And then I found out that we actually can, because, well, at least I can, because I have Jones's login for Peacock, and I guess Peacock holds the rights to the WWE, so you can get all of their archives through there. So I'm like super tempted. It's one of those things when the baby comes and I'm up at 2:00 in the morning and I
it's
can't
Pandora's
sleep.
box.
That might be when I put on fucking old, like the WWF, like 2000 to 2001. Like
You got to go back to 97,
98. Yeah, 98 I think is when
90,
it started.
98, 99 was
that was the corporate ministry, right? 98, 99.
It would be.
It was me, Austin.
So I think it's after Shawn Michaels went out, because Shawn Michaels, he got hurt for like 4 fucking years. It might have been like 98 to like 2002.
Yeah.
So when Michaels went out and Bret Hart went to WCW, that's when things shifted, and that's when it was Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H was on the up,
Mankind,
Undertaker. You had the hardcore division at that point, and then like
Hardcore Holly. Who was the guy?
Snow.
Oh, Al Snow.
Snow.
He had head.
Yep. So starting there and then through like the Monday Night Wars and the invasion and that, probably to like 2002.
Yeah, 98 to 2002 or 97 to 2002, if you want to make it a clean 5 years.
That was pretty peak.
That was peak wrestling.
And then I would say like the trend line, or I guess like the wave kind of went back up a little bit.
Because they became WWE in what, 2003, 2004?
Might have even been like 02, something like that. And it was still fine. It got weird when they went PG-13. That's when things got real shitty.
Yeah.
But there was a window in there from like, you could actually probably even let it roll from 02 to like 05, kinda, because that's like when Cena and Randy Orton and Batista and then Triple H like really kind of took over.
Yeah.
Like Chris Benoit was still doing his thing, not fucking
R.I.P.
killing himself and his family.
Yeah. Eddie Guerrero. Like that was what was their posse called? It was Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. There were like 2 other guys. Oh, fuck. Not Dean Martin. Dean Malenko.
You're talking the new 4 Horsemen? Was Eddie Guerrero one of them?
I think so.
Because in WCW, I think it was like, because I think I don't remember the originals. It was like, I know Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, probably McMichael. Jones is probably listening to me like, you fucking moron. Because it was like the 4 Horsemen. Then the 4 Horsemen came back. But like Arn Anderson was more of like a manager at that point because he wasn't wrestling anymore.
Yeah, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard.
Oh, that's who I fucked up. I fucked up Blanchard and McMichael.
Yeah, it was Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko.
I don't think it was Eddie Guerrero though.
Steve McMichael.
Oh, he was in the second one. Okay, that's why I fucked that up. But that was WCW.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a revolving door with the new guys.
Yeah.
When they went to
I was right. I nailed it on Dean Malenko, though. And Kurt Hennig.
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah. I thought Eddie Guerrero was part of that.
No, but Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit were friends. Like when I think it was WrestleMania. It was either WrestleMania 20 or WrestleMania 20 or WrestleMania 21. I don't remember. I think it was 20. The triple threat match was Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
The Radicals. That's what they were. So it was Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn.
Oh God, Saturn with the fucking belly button tattoo.
Yeah, those were the 4 guys. They were called the Radicals. That's exactly what it was. I knew there were 4 of them, and I knew that Guerrero, Benoit, and Malenko were in there. Perry Saturn was the guy I couldn't
Perry
remember.
Saturn. He was in Raven's Flock to start.
Raven was a fucking weirdo too.
Raven's the Flock. That was fuck. Lodi was Lodi the fucking weirdest one. Billy Kidman. Riggs.
Yeah. The Oddities. Do you remember the Oddities?
I remember the Oddities. They had a decent theme song. It was weird, but they had a decent theme song.
Yeah, it was
the Blue Meanie.
The Blue Meanie. There was the tall guy that wore the fucking spinny hat.
Yeah, I forget.
Who ended up becoming an actor. Like I see him in like a bunch of movies now, and I'm like, that's the guy from the Oddities.
The guy was huge, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was huge. Let me see if I can figure out his name.
It shouldn't be that hard.
The Oddities. Kurgan. Kurgan was his name. Yeah, so he's been in 300, Sherlock Holmes, Immortals, Pacific Rim, Brick Mansions, Hercules, and Deadpool 2. I'm like, every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, that's the fucking dude from the Oddities with the spinny hat on his head.
Yeah, he's 7 feet, 350.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, he's huge.
Yeah. Golga. That was, who was the dude that used to wear the mask in the Oddities?
Or is it not the Blue Meanie? Am I thinking of someone completely different?
Jones
is sitting here being like, you fucking.
Yeah, Jones is like, you guys are fucking retarded. So Violent J and Shaggy
the Blue Meanie is someone completely different. Holy shit, I fucking fucked that one up.
Luna, Vaishon, Sable started out in the Oddities. Interesting. There was a dude in the Oddities that used to wear like a burlap sack mask.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And I don't know, is there obviously, like, when you click their names on Wikipedia, it just shows their like actual face pictures, not like the dude with the mask on. And he used to wear a t-shirt with Cartman on it.
Yeah, ICP did their song.
Yeah.
He would carry Cartman with him too.
Yeah. Fuck, why can't I can't remember this dude's name? The Parade of Human Oddities. Sable joined because she was like in a fake relationship with one of them, I think. Golga was the one that was the guy with the mask and the South Park t-shirt, because it says Golga showed off his fandom of South Park carrying a stuffed Cartman doll. That's pretty funny. Yeah, dude, like that's what I mean. Like I very well may go down that rabbit hole. Like I said,
gonna be fucking crazy.
When I'm awake at 1 a.m. with a baby that won't sleep.
That's a fucking hell of a rabbit hole. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I even saw a quick video of like what John Cena used to say when he first came out. It was fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You might send it to me.
I think I did send it to you. Wasn't he calling people retarded and like all kinds of other shit? Yeah. Yeah. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah. So whenever they went PG-13, I don't know when that was. Probably a year before that was like their death, effectively.
Yeah. When did WWE go PG? That's one of the first things that pops up. The PG era.
Oh, it wasn't even PG-13, it was PG. Okay.
Yeah. 2008.
Yeah, so probably 2006 is all as far as you need to go.
So this is pretty funny. They name all the eras. So the one right before it was called the ruthless aggression era.
I mean, that was probably okay. The Attitude Era is obviously the best. What was
I
after
mean,
Attitude Era?
That was the ruthless aggression. So the attitude era, wow, we actually nailed it. The attitude era is listed as 1997 to 2002.
Told you.
And then the ruthless aggression, oh no, the invasion is considered 01 to 02.
Yeah.
And then the ruthless aggression era was 02 to 08. And then
Okay,
08,
yeah, that-
08 started the PG era.
Yeah, so I would probably still cut it off in like 06.
Yeah.
Again, that's where it's like, you know, Batista starts to go his separate way. Stone Cold isn't wrestling at all anymore.
Yeah.
The Rock's like only doing movies.
ECW comes back. ECW came back in 2006. They were
Yeah.
2006 to 2010.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't think that was overly good.
No, that's what I mean. Like, that's when things started to like fall apart.
Yeah.
So that was 06. So then the PG era they have listed from 08 to 14. And then they have 14 to 16. They call it the reality era because obviously that's when reality TV was big. And then the new era is 2016 to 2021. And they don't have a name for this new one yet because they just say Vince McMahon's retirement and then post-COVID.
Yeah. So 97 to 2002, maybe just watch that twice.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I forgot. The WWE is merging with the UFC.
Yeah, it is.
And Vince McMahon is coming back.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I ain't watching.
I'm still not watching either. But I mean, oh, hey now. You know who's investing in the new merged company between the WWE and the UFC? The PIF.
I did hear that.
Saudis. Oh,
blood money.
Yeah. Oh, you can't watch WWE anymore.
Yeah, it's blood money.
You like live golf too? Oh, these fucking losers.
I did see that the Saudi Arabians are trying to get a team in the UEFA, whatever the fuck they do. What do they do? The Euros?
Yeah, what does UEFA even stand for?
Isn't it just Europe? Like European?
I think
soccer?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is not in Europe.
No. Oh, they're trying to like move their team into one of the divisions.
They're trying to get a team into. See, this is the problem is I don't know what UEFA is. I don't know if they handle the Champions League or if they handle the Euros. I don't know what they handle. It's probably the Champions League. Because if Saudi Arabia is trying to get into that, you don't want the Saudi Arabian national team. That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, so UEFA is the Union of European Football Associations.
Yeah, so it's probably not national, though. It's probably the clubs, which would make me think it's the Champions League, which I can't keep up with all this fucking soccer shit.
Yeah, there's too many. It's too much.
There's too much.
It's like college football on steroids because it's literally worldwide, right? And like there's movement between divisions, which admittedly is actually kind of cool, but it's too much. When you have five different divisions and it's like the top three and the bottom three, the top three move up, the bottom three move down.
Yeah, like relegation and all that shit's fine.
It's
the only
like
problem
Jesus.
is there's 5 tiers to every country.
That's what I mean. Like
every country has all these tiers, and then they do kind of come together for the Champions League, I think. But then the Champions League doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah, so Saudi Arabia is in the AFC.
Yeah, they're trying to buy their way into the fucking whatever UEFA does.
Because there's one, two, three, four, five, six different confederations. There's the CONCACAF, which I knew, right? That's basically North America. And CONMEBOL is South America. The CAF, the CAF is Africa. The AFC is Asia and the Middle East. UEFA is Europe and Russia. And then there's the OFC, the OFC is Oceania. Which is really funny because Australia is counted as Asia and not Oceania.
So there's no one.
So there's literally no one in Oceania.
Well, they don't even play soccer.
It's like Indonesia and New Zealand,
everything
basically.
Else.
And probably like Samoa, right? Like, I don't know. The OFC seems like it's a joke.
Tonga.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's it. That's probably in there. But yeah, that's funny that so they're basically trying to buy their way into Europe, essentially.
Yeah, even though they're not located in Europe.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there are, it looks like 3 countries in South America that are part of the CONCACAF. They're literally landlocked around the CONMEBOL, the South American League.
Soccer is too complicated. They play for too much shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also like always on, right? Like there's like they don't really have an off season.
Yeah, and then they
I don't think.
And then they play for their country like all the time too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dumb sport, Mary.
Yeah, because they're either like they're basically either prepping or playing in the World Cup or prepping or playing in the Olympics because they offset every 2 years.
Or right? The Euros, which is...
Or the Euro, yeah. And it's like, okay, so you have all of these championships. Yeah, because there's the UEFA championship, right? And the CONCACAF championship. So between your regional your region, I guess, whether it's UEFA, CONCACAF, whatever, CONMEBOL, whatever, you have that championship. Then you have the Olympics, and then you have the World Cup. So you're always competing.
Yeah, that's on 3 out of 4 years.
The world stage. And then you're also always competing and playing for your team that you play for.
Well, and then it gets even more complicated because it's like, okay, so there's the Premier League, and then like that's England. The Bundesliga is Germany. So each country has like a top league.
Right.
And then the best teams from those top leagues, they play in the Champions League.
Right.
But it's like goofy how they do it. It's
yeah, because isn't the Champions League plays after? That's what I think it is. So I think like the Bundesliga and the Premier League and all those guys, like they all run their season. And then once the season is over, then they start the Premier League or the Champions League.
I don't even know if they do, though, because they only play like 2 fucking games or some shit. And it's like weeks apart from each. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand. I agree with you. It's too much. It's too much to follow.
I think they play like 2 games. So if like Munich plays fucking Man City, they play like 2 games. And if they split it, then it's like goal differential. It's like, why not just play 1 or 3? Why the fuck are you playing 2? And why the fuck are they like 2 weeks apart?
Yeah.
And I think it's because they might actually still be playing league games or like playoffs. So it's like, it's fucking stupid. It's too much going on.
Yeah.
Should have heard the kid at the gym trying to fucking explain it to me. It's fucking crazy. And then because of the Champions League, that's like the top one. There's a lesser of that too. So it's like if you're not quite good enough to be in the Champions League, there's another league. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. It is way too much, right? It's like
too much.
Like I said, the relegation thing is cool. It would never really work in American sports outside of like baseball, just because baseball is already set up that way with different tiers. But like there is no sub football league, right? There
No,
is.
you would have to take the current. You would have to take the current 32 teams, and you would have 11, 11, and 10. And they would have to try to play their way up and down the ladder.
Right. Right. But like, where do they go? Like, if the bottom 3 teams get relegated, like, where do they go? Are they going to go to the XFL? Are they going to go to the CFL? Like, go play for the
No,
Grey Cup?
well,
You know
just
what I
like
mean?
soccer,
Like,
there's a bottom somewhere. I mean, there's like 5 tiers instead of 3. That's what I'm saying is the NFL, it's
oh,
like,
so you would split so the NFL would stop being by divisions and conferences, basically, and it would become
well, you would have the NFL,
tiered
it would be
structure.
tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Right.
And if you're last in tier 3, there is no below that.
Right. Yeah.
And you would still get like number 1 overall draft pick, shit like that. But
well, like I don't think the NFL would ever do that.
No, it's stupid.
Because it also, like, the US is way fucking bigger than Europe too. So like the travel involved, right? Like it wouldn't make any sense.
No.
You could like I said, you could maybe pull it off in baseball. Just because it's already set up, right? Like they have low A, high A, double A, triple A, and
yeah,
but
even then, you would need to restructure all of baseball because no AAA team can compete with a MLB team.
Yeah, you would also have to remove, and this is where shit gets goofy too, because it would completely change the structure of baseball because you'd have to remove the farm systems, right? Because technically, like the Worcester Red Sox or the Woo Sox, whatever the fuck you want to call them, like those players are available to the Boston Red Sox when necessary. But if you split that and you start doing relegation, then that's not possible.
Yeah,
like
and
you
soccer,
can't pull...
yeah, but soccer does shit where they have people on loan and they can just sell players. It's fucking dumb. It's never gonna happen here.
Yeah, it's weird.
Just leave that shit in Europe where we don't have to fucking worry about it.
Yeah. Fucking Europeans and their soccer. Oh, it's football. No, it's not. It's soccer.
We bail them out of 2 world wars and then we can't even fucking follow their sports.
Yeah.
You know, I had to explain. I don't think Finn does Finn regularly listen? I don't care. I don't care if he does.
I don't think he's a regular listener.
Okay.
I think he's a spotty here and there.
Well, if you're listening, Finn, I did have to tell the story of Rhode Island in the Revolutionary War because a guy was telling me about some golf course down there and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, and like part of the thing is like in their history they have like some fucking monument on the golf course for like the Battle of Rhode Island from like 1775. And I held my tongue. I almost just said, I go, what battle? They didn't show up for the Revolutionary War. So I start laughing. I go, I'll explain that one later. And he like keeps going on and on, whatever. I kind of wasn't listening at that point. And then I had to tell Super Nintendo Chalmers. I had to explain it. I was like, it's too fucking funny. I go, for years, no one even questioned it. And we just rolled with the fact that Rhode Island didn't show up for the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. It was just, oh wow, I had no idea.
Well, even the way it was fucking, I mean, high school, thinking back to like the high school kids I have now, and I'm like, oh man, no wonder this fucking went this way. But it's like 1776. There were no phones, but like he effectively was like, call up Rhode Island. It's like, there are no phones.
Yeah.
Like, we really need you. Yeah, no, we'll be there. It's like, what the fuck? Where were you guys? Oh, that was this week?
I'm trying to see if I can figure out what course it is.
It's a Quidneck.
Oh, okay.
I think it used to be called something else.
And they fought a battle on the golf course, huh?
I don't fucking know. Like,
I know. Obviously the battle happened before there was a golf course there, but it's just I was being facetious.
Whatever. Listen, I'll put it to you this way. I don't fucking play golf courses for like historical landmarks on them.
No.
I
Yeah.
actually, frankly, could fucking care less.
Yeah. I don't really care.
Because I saw a couple guys play a course in DC, and you can see the Washington Monument and the Jefferson Monument from like a bunch of holes, and the course sucked. So what the fuck do I care?
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
It's like someone telling me Granite Links is a good course because you can see Boston. It's like, why the fuck would I want to see that place?
Yeah. I can see Boston a lot of different ways.
I was able to see Boston from my hometown every time I drove over the Mystic River.
Yeah. Yep. Or like anytime you drive on the Fellsway or the or 93.
Yeah.
Right? Like
there it is.
Yeah. It's right there. So
yeah, and Granite Links is still a shitty course.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before we wrap things up, how did the club championship go?
How did it actually go?
Yeah. Because you played what, Friday, Saturday? Right?
I played last week. I got bounced by the college kid.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think we did
Yeah.
talk about that. Yeah. I wasn't sure. Because then as soon as I said Friday, Saturday, I was like, wait, you were at TPC Boston on Friday. So I immediately knew that.
I got bounced by the college kid last week.
Yeah. Right. I do remember you saying that. All right. Well, in that case, you want to wrap this bitch up?
Yes. Speaking of my club championship. So we got a new member this year. Someone I know, someone I've played with. I've played Tour Greater Boston with them. I've played like regular rounds with him. He does mass events. He does Rhode Island events. He does USGA events. He's a good player. He's a +1 handicap. So I was told that he was applying. Actually, I was told he was in like months before he actually got in. So that was just bad info. So just to be a dick, and I've probably said this on the podcast before, just to be a dick, I was like, oh, well, we don't need to have the club championship this year. They go, oh, well, why not? I go, well, I already know who's winning it. It's Zach. Like, without a doubt, it's him. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, he's fucking good. I go,
Yeah.
He's a +1 handicap. Like, he is better than anybody here. In the famous words, oh, anything can happen in match play.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in match play.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, anything can happen. When you're talking about like 4 handicaps, 6 handicaps, even like 3s, like Sharon 2s, like,
yeah,
this is a fucking +1 that gets invited to the Wilmette. Oh no, he didn't get invited to the Wilmette. He got invited to the Hornblower. Like, he gets invited into state stuff based on performance. He made final 8 of the Rhode Island AM last year. Like, he's a +1 with fucking like competition scores. Because that's the other thing is, like, people always joke about like the home course scratch, where it's like they can be a 0 on their home course, but you bring them anywhere else and they can't break 80.
Right.
So he's a battle tested +1. I go, that is significantly better than anything else. Oh, well, anything can happen in match play. I go, not this time.
Yeah.
So
not when you're that good.
All winter I'm doing this. And then eventually I just get fed up. I go, you know what I'm going to do? You know what? I got a fundraising opportunity for the fucking golf course. Go put a jar in the pro shop. And anytime someone utters the words, anything can happen in match play, money in the fucking jar. We'll be fucking rich.
Yeah.
I go, because this kid is fucking better than anything we have.
Right.
Now, I almost look like a complete moron because we also have a college player that actually got involved in the club this year. He's been a member for like a long time. Like, I've played with his brother. His father's been up there a long time. He just kind of really hasn't done any club stuff.
Yeah.
But this year, I think he played with James one day, and James asked him, like, oh, you're going to be around for the club championship? He goes, yeah, I'm going to be around this year. I'm going to play. So then I'm like, ah, shit, because he's a +1 with college scores in there. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Right.
He could lose. Zach could lose to him. Like, that wouldn't be weird.
Right. But they're both basically equivalents, right? Like, if they're both +1s and Zach is playing like
Yeah, so
difficult
they're
competition
both
courses, and then the other kid is he plays college
yeah, it's
golf.
Division 3, but it's still college. Like it's college varsity golf. So it's like that's the thing is they're both +1s, but they're not home course +1s.
Right, right.
Like they've shown that they can travel and be +1s. And then when I actually played with, well, and this is the other thing is I didn't play with the college kid until fucking 12 days ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I didn't know his game or anything, but I was like, yeah, I might take whatever. I go, well, whatever. Zach will probably still win. And like I've been playing with him, and I'm like, he's just fucking better than the people around here. So we get to club championship time. And at this point, I'm like, well, it's really a 2-horse race. And everyone's like, well, what about the guy who won last year? What about Tom? I go, listen, it's nice and all. I go, I just don't think he has the firepower.
Is this one that you guys do the tontine for?
No, that's the
No.
the
Yeah, the
Calcutta.
Calcutta. Yeah, yeah.
That's bad.
Is that its specific own thing as
Yes.
a Calcutta tournament?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Calcutta is the style of betting.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yes, that's a different tournament. That's in the fall. I will not be playing in that. Dumb. And I don't think Zach will play in that, and Corey will be back at college. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. So everyone's like, oh, well, what about Tom? Tom's like a 1 or a 2. And I'm like, listen, it's nice and all, but he only played yes, he plays elsewhere, but like, dude, he does not play state stuff.
Right.
Like, again, like I don't know him that well, but I know what Zach is. So we get to qualifying. I qualify actually in the group with the 2 of them and someone else. They shot 74, 75 in some pretty crazy wind. And Zach shot 75 with a 4-putt. So you think if he
was it the third hole?
No, it was the second hole. It was bad. It was real bad, like real bad. But
yeah.
So you figure, okay, so that's 73 because he's not 4-putting that fucking golf course again. I assure you of that.
Right.
Like, well, he could. No, he can't. He is not 4-putting this fucking golf course again. Right. I promise you.
Especially the second hole.
Yeah, it was dumb.
It's a relatively flat green.
I mean, so he had
compared to the other greens on the course.
It is flat. No, he had like a 25-footer, got fucked up with the wind and everything, and left it like 8 feet short, hit it like probably 4 feet by, and then just hard lipped it out.
Ugh.
So it's like that. I mean, dude, it happens easy, but
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that ain't happening again. So I'm like, that's 73, which is what last year's champion came in at for qualifying. And I'm like, all right, well, you know what? He played on an easier day. Like 73. Like you can't lie about that. So
right.
That's good. That's good playing. So when I played, last year's champion played the 8 seed. Well, the 8 seed is like an 8 handicap.
Right.
Beat him 7-5.
Right.
Okay, fine. I lost to the college kid. Zach won his match and he had to grind that one out. And then there was an upset in the other match.
So you play stroke play to get seeding?
18-hole qualifying, top 8 get seeded.
Okay.
And then it's 3 days of matches.
Okay.
And then, so there was an upset. 6 handicap, shot 77, 74. Those were his 2 best scores of the year. And he shot them in back-to-back days. So he got hot. Fine. Week goes by. Now he's got to play last year's champion. I don't know how much he won by, but he won that one.
Right.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so Zach just took out the college kid. And last year's champ has not really been pushed all that hard.
Right.
I'm like, this shouldn't be much of a match. And then I was up practicing today and I'm on the chipping green and I hear the guys come up. I know it's the championship flight. I hear a tee shot. I hear a second tee shot, but I don't hear any movement. I hear a third tee shot. I go, oh boy.
Oh no.
So Zach's driving down the hill. I'm like over there. I go, wait, I go, what's the match at? He goes, all square. I go, who hit a provisional? He goes, he did. He goes, he's in trouble. I'm like, here we go. And
Yep.
he goes, I don't think I need to make birdies or anything to beat him. I go, I don't think you do either. I'm like, if you get him here, you know, you just kind of like trudge along, like do what you need to do. It's like, dude, he doesn't have the firepower to beat you. And it's like, if you play well enough, you'll make a few birdies. Like, fine.
Right. Right.
Again, we're talking about two good players, and one of them is by handicap 2 strokes better than the other one. Like,
Right. Right.
and again, battle tested. So I finished practicing. They're on 12 at this point, and they're in the fairway, and there's a lot of people surrounding the green. So one ball comes up, second ball comes up. Last year's champ gets right up, chips his ball, whatever. And Zach's like not even doing anything on the green. And I'm like, is he slow playing him? I go, he might be fucking with him right now. I go, because I like he's methodical and he takes his time. I go, but he's not doing anything. It's his turn and he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
I go, I wonder if he's trying to fuck with him right now. And he took forever to like make his putt and whatever. And it even led to like, you know, his opponent missed his putt for 4. So they both had like 6 feet. Zach putting for 4, the other one putting for 5. And he goes, you're good. We'll move on. He just gave it to him, thinking that they were both like same likelihood of making it or not. I mean, it was probably the right play.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I wonder if I wonder if he's playing extra slow just to fuck with him.
Yeah.
But, so I'm like, okay, so it's 2 up through 12. I go, this is gonna be over. I won't text him too early. So credit to last year's champ. He brought it all the way to 18. He hit a 25-foot birdie putt on 18. So Zach had to hit a 5-footer to win it all. So he ended up winning 1 up. And I would just like to pat myself on the back because I was right. I told everyone before he was even a member that he was winning the club championship. He'll probably win it next year unless he has a kid, in which case that remains to be seen. And anything can happen in match play unless you have legitimate fucking people
Right.
in this thing.
Right.
Or if you have all legitimate people in this thing.
If you have people of like equal status.
But like real of equal status, because the difference between a 3 and like a 7 handicap is not the same as the difference between a +1 and a 3.
Right.
Because it's 4 strokes and 4 strokes, but it's not nearly the fucking same.
Right.
Because it's like the USAM, you know, they play 36 holes of stroke and then top 64 go into match play. In the 1 seed always fucking loses. And I think this year's final was a 41 versus 47. But like the 41 won a US Junior Am. He knocked out some good people. So it's like 36 holes, the same way 18 holes usually isn't enough to seed people correctly.
Right.
I'm not, but like that's the thing is USAM, they're all that good.
Right. Right.
For us, we're not all that good.
Right.
Only 2 of us were that good.
Right.
And 1 dude was close, and it was close. And again, I don't really know how the match went. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I guess he could have only fought for 1 back through the rest of those holes. But yeah, I mean, it's like you put me, because I'm at 2.3 right now. You put me with a 7, there's a possibility I could lose that match. Gross. Possible. It's unlikely, but it is possible.
Right.
The same is not, what did I say? 7, so that's 5 strokes. The same is very much not true if I went to play a +3.
Right.
Gross.
Yeah.
That person is probably getting me more than I get a 7, I would think.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not. Depends. But anything cannot happen in match play because I fucking predicted this.
And you're always right. You don't say anything unless you're right.
I've also predicted so if anyone ever wants to hang some lines on 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 amateur golf in Massachusetts, now you're gonna have to bet. Now you're gonna have to accept some bets on some kids, which is fine. I mean, if you're fine. I did predict. I predicted a kid getting knocked out of the Mass Junior because everyone thought he was going to win and steamroll everybody. He was like at his home course. He had won the Mass Am. He had won the New England Am. He was winning everything and he was killing everybody at his home course. I go, nah, he ain't winning. Lost. And then there was a girl in the women's Am. It's like everyone knows who she is, super popular. She's going to go to UCF, whatever. And I'm like looking at it and she was killing everybody again. I'm like, nah, ain't gonna be her. So if anyone wants to hang some lines and get fucking beat up bad, like I will bet on children's golf. I do not care.
Not above it.
These kids are like 17 and 18. And I don't care. You hang the line, I'll take it.
I like it. To do it through well, I would have to be like a local book, but
Yeah,
figure it out.
it's gonna have to be like Joey Knuckles or some shit.
Yeah. All right. So my final thought is going to be potentially a relatively quick one. But so I found this out listening to one of the Drinking Bros podcasts that came out recently, but I want to give a shout out and then have a hearty laugh, a hearty chuckle, because Black Rifle Coffee, who I have been drinking their coffee probably since like 2016 ish. I'm on their subscription club. I also have their exclusive subscription club, so I get both subscriptions. Bags of coffee shipped to the house. Go check them out. They're not a sponsor of the show. They probably won't ever be unless we like 10x our size and get like 1,000 listeners a month or 1,000 subscribers versus like 100. So they entered into what is called the Golden Bean competition. So it's literally just like a coffee competition for all over the world, right? All these people enter this competition. There's a couple different categories. So there's like, I'll just read, how many are there? There's 11. So I'll just read them quickly. There's espresso, milk-based, filter, alternative milk, decaf, chain store espresso, chain store milk, chain store filter, super automatic, single serve, and then elite. So there's like all these other bullshit ones, and then there's the elite category. So Black Rifle Coffee entered 2 of their exclusive coffee subscriptions, like exclusive blends, if you want to call it, into the elite division. And they proceeded to win the gold medal and the bronze medal. So the Circus Bear won the gold medal, and I think Dictator Geisha won the bronze medal. So they only entered into the elite competition, and they won first and third with the 2 that they entered. So, like I said, first part, shout out to them. It's awesome. I've been saying it forever. Black Rifle Coffee is quite literally the best coffee you will ever drink. Like I tell people this all the time, whether or not they listen to me, whatever, but now we have legitimate proof, right? Like they're the best. They won the best coffee of the year. and the third best coffee of the year. So really cool, awesome. Yeah, shout out, go buy their coffee, support them. They're awesome. Second part of that, where we have a hearty chuckle, is what's the general type of person that you think is involved in the coffee world, whether it's as a roaster or a consumer or judge type of person in the coffee world?
Hipstery people, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, hipstery, like kind of like the IPA bros, like people like that, right? That they think they're way more important than they really are. Um, Big hub for coffee in the country is the Pacific Northwest. So you have people generally from the Pacific Northwest, generally hipstery. What they all have in common is that they are super liberal, right? And super left leaning. So a company called Black Rifle Coffee, owned by military veterans, and are openly conservative and support, conservative politics, wins first and third in the elite division of this Golden Bean coffee competition. And people are losing their fucking minds. They're like, this isn't fair. Like, they don't belong here. They're like, yada, 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 like all this stuff. Like, people like, and they were talking about it a little bit, like I said, on the episode of the Drinking Bros podcast, when they announced that like they won and all that stuff. Well, Dan and Ross aren't part of Black Rifle anymore, but obviously they're friends with it. So they announced, that Black Rifle had won. So it's not like Black Rifle put out this big like thing, announcement or anything. But and so Dan and Ross were talking about it, and they were like, yeah, people are like losing their fucking shit over this. And Dan was like, good. So like, oh, this is like one of the only things that we had, man. Like, this is our like whatever, you know what I mean? Because like people are butthurt about it. And I love it. Like I said, on one hand, I love it because it's my favorite coffee and I think it's the best coffee in the world. And on the other hand, I love it because it's chaos and it causes fucking liberal pussies to melt down because of a coffee competition.
I just like, I just don't understand the you lost. Like their coffee's better than yours. Like make
Yeah.
better coffee.
Right. Right.
And like the people that lost are the types of people that would have like built these competitions and like judged on like their type of criteria and like,
And it's a blind test too.
yeah,
Like it's a blind
but
competition.
but like their influence in the culture or
Because if it wasn't blind, I could guarantee you Black Rifle's not
they
winning
wouldn't have won.
anything.
But it's not like, whoever, like the Pacific Northwest, they've been brewing the coffee, like, so they're almost like the industry trendsetters. Like,
Right.
what if they say something's good, then everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, it is good. And it's like,
Right.
we took this shit and we added a little bit of it to the coffee, and that makes it good. And like, yeah, it's a bold thing, but yes, the shit does make it better. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like whatever they say and whatever they're doing and whatever they are like are experimenting with, like that's the industry.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I'm getting really earthy tones from this this shit flavor. And the person's like, well, yeah, I'm a vegan.
Yes, it is shit. What was that coffee? It was like literally like the coffee beans were like fucking from shit of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
out of the capybara.
yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, the capybara eats coffee beans and shits them out, and
then that's supposed to be the beans that are like the best ever or some
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, so it's like they beat you at your own game. So what part of it's not fair?
Right. You established the rules, you established the game,
And
and
they
they
beat you.
won. They won.
What's the problem?
Yeah. I
Can't
mean,
handle losing,
to
pussies.
me, there's no problem. Yes, they are giant pussies. But things like that make me happy.
Hey, second's cool too. Someone's got to finish second.
Yeah, yeah. Someone has to, right?
I mean, it's like again, only one better.
Yeah. I also think it's really funny that they only entered two. They only entered two blends and they only entered into the elite competition and they took first and third.
Apparently, there's something there.
Yeah. Yep.
I was actually thinking today because I'm still a fucking Neanderthal buying coffee from the grocery store, but I'm increasingly suck. You know what? Like, so I'm pretty good at shopping, but like I'm not good at remembering what we need and when we need it.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes we have like 16 boxes of granola bars, but then it's like sometimes we have none.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. I do that shit all the time.
So like literally in the grocery store, coffee's one of those where I have to be like, wait, do we need it? And I'm like, no, the jar's full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I get home. So I shopped on Friday, got home Saturday, grinded up coffee. Now that's gone. Now I'm grinding up coffee. Like the tube's empty. I'm like, we need fucking coffee again. That's
Right.
after I went to Market Basket on Friday. Nope, Saturday. Went to Market Basket Saturday. Went to Stop and Shop on Saturday again because we need dish soap that I didn't. So I didn't actually know we needed that. I don't know. The coffee, I thought we were good. We weren't. And then I had to go back to Stop and Shop this morning to buy coffee. I feel like I need to get on a subscription.
Yeah.
For coffee.
Well, I know a place that has quite literally the best coffee in the world.
Yeah, I probably still won't do
it. I think their regular subscription is like 16 or 17 bucks a month.
Yeah, I remember it being something like that because you've been on it forever.
The exclusive one is like 25 bucks a month. Or now it might be up to like 26 or 27.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Just get me regular coffee. I don't need the other shit.
Yeah. I mean, I actually enjoy the taste of coffee. So I like the exclusive subscription because like they come in and some of them are really good. They're from, all kinds of crazy places all over the world.
Well, apparently they're the best in the world, so no matter what I get from them, it'll be good.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I probably still won't do it. I'll just continue to forget to buy it at the grocery store and go to a grocery store fucking 6 times in one weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I do the thing too, where like, if I find something that I really like, I'll just buy a bunch of it. And so I have it in case they run out.
Yeah. But then it's like, if I start doing that, then what'll happen is because we don't have a ton of storage space, I'll have so much shit that then I won't know what I have when I have it.
Right.
So then I'll be like,
sometimes it depends on the deals too, right? Like if they have if jars of peanut butter are on sale for like 2 for $4, right? If they're normally like $5.50 a jar, but they go on sale for 2 for $4, I'll get 2 jars of peanut butter, right? And then I'll just put the other one away. So I know it's like there. I'll do like shit like that.
I don't shop that way. I try to just get what we need when we need it.
I typically do that, but I will.
Well, even when I try to be good, like I bought something because we were running out. Probably a couple weeks ago. Still haven't opened it. Still haven't needed it.
Yep. Yeah, but you're running low.
Yeah, low, but not out.
Yeah.
So then when I do run out, I'll probably forget that I've got one in the cabinet
and go buy another one. Then you'll have two. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Fucking idiot.
Well, that's gonna do it for us. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe up top. Subscribe if you're an audio only guy too. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. You go to the link in our Instagram bio, and that has all of the promo codes for you listed out there. The first one we got is mybookie.com. Use the promo code sarcasmpod to double your first deposit up to $1,000 over there. Next we got Noon Brew. Again, you can get some cool coasters, and I was drinking it earlier. Noon Brew, use the promo code that's in the show notes or the link in the bio, and that'll get you 10% off every single time you check out over there. Shout out to those guys. And then we have the Ice Pod, which I can start using again because the construction is done in my backyard. So the Ice Pod, use that promo code, and that will get you $10 off your entire purchase. So that is going to do it for us. Until next time, good night, everybody.